6 up-and-coming claims managers. 6 ambitious candidates, all with one aim: to be crowned Claims Apprentice 2023. It's a new day at Kennedy's, and the apprentices are back to see Claire Mulligan in the boardroom to find out about their next challenge.
Good morning, Claims Apprentices.
Good morning.
Today is your third challenge: podcasts. Claims inflation is the biggest problem the insurance industry is currently facing. Your job is to create podcasts on the subject. One of your teams will deal with personal injury claims. The others, motor claims and accident repairs. When your podcasts are completed, they will be uploaded to the Insurance Post website. Those of you with the most hits will win. Good luck.
Each team will have to plan and record a podcast. This includes going out onto the street to record interviews with the public to include in the podcast. The teams will be helped and overseen by mentors from Kennedy's. The mentor for Team Connect is partner Sandeep Sidhu. Sandeep specialises in defending a broad range of motor cases and personal injury claims with a focus on complex injuries. The mentor for Team Aspire is Mark Walsh. Mark is a partner in Kennedy's Serious and Catastrophic Injury Group and advises composite insurers and large corporate clients in relation to the investigation and defence of personal injury claims.
Good morning, guys. My name is Mark Walsh. I'm a partner here at Kennedy's in the Serious and Catastrophic Injury Product Group.
I'm Sandeep Sidhu. I'm a legal director at Kennedy's. I'm part of the volume defence team and also head the recoveries team.
We're here to set the task for you today and then to mentor you. The task is to prepare a podcast in relation to claims inflation. One team, mentored by Sandeep, will be looking specifically at motor claims, and I'll be mentoring the other team in relation to serious injury claims.
Team Connector with me.
Team Aspire, you're with me. Okay.
The teams start brainstorming on ideas for their podcasts. Team Connect has been told to focus on cost of motor repairs, while Team Aspire has been given the theme of personal injury.
How many questions do you think we should do?
3 or 4.
3 or 4, so we need to think at least one or two more.
What about something about delays? You know, like are you finding it takes twice as long to get things, you know, from suppliers and things these days? And specifically if they have, we can say, was there something wrong with your car that you had to take it into a garage? Or...
Yeah. Because I think it does impact everything, doesn't it, really? It's not just the car, because like I ordered a bed and that's like 15 weeks to come.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all, yeah.
Have you noticed delays in materials in your everyday life? Yeah? We could add the do you drive one and then the premiums increasing because...
It's a fairly quick, punchy question.
Yeah, do you drive? Have you noticed an increase in your premiums? Do you
And
think?
if they say no?
If they say no, then...
No.
No.
Yeah. Alright.
Team Aspire is also trying to come up with some relevant questions for their Vox Pops which tie in with their podcast.
We have got our 3 sort of main topics, haven't we? So claims and rising costs, claim inflation, so housing, care costs and rehabilitation. So questions we need to think of asking the public when we go out onto the streets to ask questions. We need to keep a bit more broad and general rather than personal injury specific, because it might be a bit restrictive then on the audience that we could ask those questions. So
we've got the question about, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to go to private healthcare due to the strikes and delays that the NHS is currently experiencing? Would you prefer to go to private healthcare due to those delays and strikes?
Do you have personal injury insurance, and if you do, have you ever used it?
That's good, yeah, because that'll relate to the inflation of claims that they've talked about.
It's time for the teams to hit the street and collect some vox pops from the public. They have 45 minutes to get good sound bites for their podcasts. Team Connect is quick off the mark and doesn't waste any time.
Just tell us, how has the cost of living crisis affected you?
Well, I've actually just moved out, so I'm paying a stupid amount at the minute. Obviously, like the bills, gas, all that kind of stuff is absolutely outrageous, especially for people on, a pretty average salary. But yeah, I think everyone can vouch that it's pretty tough to live in London at the minute.
It's Team Aspire's turn to find a person who can spare a few minutes.
What are your thoughts on the cost of living crisis?
Oh, I've seen that a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people, and I know we're renting and it's very expensive. And all the bills are like very expensive. We are from Mexico. And we've seen the bills here are way, way higher than back home.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah.
should we just go down Grace Church Street? I think.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll be busy?
While Team Aspire is looking for an area with more people, Team Connect has found a willing punter.
Has the cost of living crisis impacted you?
Of course it has, yes.
And what impacts do you think that the cost of living has had on drivers?
Fuel's gone up, so obviously it's impacting everybody's pockets.
Yeah, okay. And do you personally drive?
Rarely, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's everything, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you, bye.
Have a great day.
Since COVID, there are fewer people coming into London to work in the square mile, and Team Aspire are having to work hard to find some contributors.
What about this couple here?
Yeah, do you think, yeah.
Give it a try. We need to try anyone.
No.
So would you always stay with the NHS, or would you ever look at going private healthcare if you had the choice?
The healthcare's it's very good, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Even though there are the long delays and...
They do their best.
Yeah, you don't think they might need additional resources, personnel or equipment?
Let's face it, we're in a sort of a climate now, so whatever they do well, and that's all I can say.
And what are your thoughts as well on the cost of living crisis at the moment?
That's another thing, isn't it? Well, we've been here. We've all been through the war. I've been through the war, the Second World War.
Wow, okay.
So, we've all have to struggle, and you all have to pull together. There's nothing we can do about it, is there? That's all I can say to you.
No, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Hey guys, do you have a few seconds to answer a few questions for a podcast we're doing? No? That's all right, thank you.
The lunchtime rush appears to have fizzled out, but Team Connect have found someone willing to talk to them.
Has the cost of living crisis impacted you?
Yeah, I'd say so. With the rise in interest rates and due to inflation and all that went up. Not so much actually at the moment now, because I only sort of moved house a couple of years ago, so I'm getting more worried about what's going to affect come this August when all the deals run out. So I'm all right at the moment, and it's going to hit me like a train wreck pretty much, I think.
Team Aspire has found a young man whose mother has been directly affected by the cost of living crisis.
What are your thoughts/concerns on the NHS at the moment?
Well, my mum works for the NHS, so personally I think they should get higher pay anyway, to be honest with you. I think they get overworked as well, and I think it's a bit unfair the fact that it's a bit tougher for them to kind of go on things like to do striking and things like that, whereas there are obviously train strikes and things like that going on at the moment. I kind of just feel like it's a bit unfair the way they get treated at the moment, to be honest with you, yeah.
Do you think that's because there's a lack of other carers? Or?
I think it's a bit of both, really. I mean, I can understand why a lot of the people for the NHS would get fed up. I mean, my mum's the exact same. She's quite fed up with it, but she's got to work because at the end of the day, with cost of living and things like that as well, it's tough, really. Yeah, it is tough, yeah.
Team Aspire appears to be on a roll and make the most of it.
Our first question was, what are your thoughts on the cost of living crisis?
Try not to think about it, I guess. Times like this really show how badly the government's doing in protecting those that are really in need. I think it just amplifies the issues that are already existing before the cost of living crisis started.
Thank you. Bye. Wondering what your thoughts or concerns are within the NHS?
Actually, I'm a foreigner here. I do live in London, so I'm not an NHS person, understand? Okay. They do not affect me because if anything wrong to me, I need to pay for my own bills. So that's why I don't really know anything about that.
It's almost time to head back to the Kennedys' office, but Team Connect has found a few people who are willing to go on the records.
What impact do you think the cost of living crisis has had on drivers?
I haven't noticed any difference. I drive every day to work. Petrol's cheaper than it was a year ago.
Yeah.
So actually, insurance hasn't gone up particularly. I haven't noticed any difference.
And I haven't had to buy a car recently.
With a few minutes to go, Alan from Team Aspire persuades two women to take part.
Excuse me, ladies, would you be willing to answer a couple of questions for our podcast?
Please.
So our first question is, what are your thoughts / concerns with the NHS at the moment?
NHS?
NHS, so our healthcare that we get in the UK, that we get for free.
And like I said, we are from Poland, so we are...
Okay, you're here on holiday? Yeah. Okay.
After 45 minutes in the field, both teams head back to the office. How did they think it went?
I think people are very busy and they didn't really want to talk to us, but the people we did speak to were really, really good.
I think it's really hard to get people to stop because people were rushing around, but I think when they do stop and talk to you, that they do give you good feedback. So I think we've got lots to talk about now.
Also, I think we've got an interesting sort of cross-section of answers that hopefully we'll be able to use.
Yeah. I think we've got kind of like the global answer, which is kind of what we were aiming for, so we can kind of dig a little deeper then with our questions and our talking points. So.
I think we got a good summary of what we said, like we got good different like quite broad feedback.
It's slow to start with.
Yes, yeah.
You're getting a little bit nervous, but then we met a few good people and got some really interesting answers, I thought.
Yeah.
Considering it's something that we potentially haven't done before, I think it went really well, and we got like a variety of answers from different people, which is a pro.
As you say, slow start because of rush hour time, but we managed to get a few people. I think we certainly all went out of our comfort zones as well, didn't we? Well, I certainly did, so.
What do the mentors think about their team efforts so far?
Very well so far, considering none of them are injury practitioners. They've really been thinking about it in a wider context, been asking some really good questions, and yeah, I think they're heading in the right direction.
Within Team Connect, I would say that Rebecca has probably taken more of a lead role. She has coordinated the direction that they are going. Both Ellie and Alistair have made some very valuable contributions to the discussion and where they are going with their podcast.
After a busy day at the office, the teams can take a break. Tomorrow morning, they'll be given access to a studio and they'll have to be ready to record their podcasts. Next time on Claims Apprentice.
I think we're going to really do well in this challenge.
I've never really been a big fan of podcasts.
Cut this bit. 3, 2, 1.
We went out to the British public and we talked to them to gauge their opinion on NHS and privatisation. Private healthcare, sorry, I can't say that.
Does someone else want to do this, because like I can't do it? Okay, I'll do it.